All right, so let's connect here today, May 21st, 2023, coming at you for our live stream. I'm back. I missed last Sunday's, had some stuff going on, and either way, I'm back now for today, May 21st, through a good part of the rest of the year. I don't really see taking any time off for a while, maybe end of the year, who knows. But right now, guys, I'm back. One Eyebrow, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe, and from anything else you want to talk about. Watched a couple other shows and movies, finished up a couple shows, and so hopefully you guys are doing well. Family stuff, hopefully you're doing well with you and yours, your loved ones, your work, your career, your job, your school, whatever you're up to. Hopefully you're being safe and sound and you're having a good time in doing it. It's May 21st, so next weekend will be Memorial Day weekend. Being from New Jersey, that's always a big weekend because that is the official opening of the shore, even though a lot of stuff is open already, I believe, and also the stuff for the summertime, so it's a good time for funness. But Tim, Big Tree, Negan One, Team Boss, Andrea, everybody else, thank you guys for joining me. Phantom, hey, how are you? Hope you're doing well to you and yours. So I missed last Sunday, and I apologize for that. It sucked. So it was also last Sunday was Mother's Day, so happy belated Mother's Day to all those in there. But I missed you guys. It was one of those things where life gets in the way, and I always feel bad because I only devote 1 hour a week on Sundays to talk to you guys, and I was like, I'm gonna miss the live stream, but it's okay. And we'll talk about Fear the Walking Dead. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about the Walking Dead universe, the information that's going around from, of course, and anything else you want to talk about. So please let me know in the chat. It's always fun to talk about, what's going on. So, Constipated Sin City, how's the family doing this weekend? Pretty good. It's been a little craziness, getting back into the swing of things. When you go away for a couple days and then you come back, it's like you never left, but then you got to catch up on things as well. But, so hopefully you guys, I've seen a couple movies recently. I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I thought it was okay. I still think the second one is the best one. I have not seen the new Fast and Furious movie. What else did we watch? We watched The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal. It was okay. It was a different kind of movie. The latest news about The Walking Dead, Phantom Deluxe is asking a question, Q&A. Have you watched Peninsula? It's a Korean zombie movie, unlike Walking Dead, with more gore and runners. So that, I believe, is like Train to Busan. I think that's the next movie to that. I have not seen Peninsula. I believe it's the sequel to, I want to say Train to Busan because it sounds better, but I think it's Train to Busan or Busan. It's Korean as well. I have not seen Peninsula, but I don't even know. Was it good? Was Peninsula a good movie? So haven't really seen too much, zombie stuff besides the Walking Dead universe lately. But I'm excited for Dead City. It looks good. The trailers and stuff have come out. We've had different breakdowns and everything is there. Fear the Walking Dead is back, and don't worry, we're going to talk about that in great detail. And I don't know. The first episode was lackluster, in my opinion. It's not a good sign when they lead with that. That first episode was just annoying. It was like, they're there, they're back. We escaped. Let's go back. Let's not escape. Let's go back. It's just like, what are we doing with this episode? It was just really dumb, and it was a terrible premiere. The Walking Dead, you could always count on, right? Every season you could count on an awesome premiere, a good mid-season finale, a good mid-season premiere, and a good finale. There was at least 4 good episodes you can count on probably being the best episodes of the season. Even season 7, which I don't even like as a season. Season 7, episode 1 is good. Episode 17 is good. A little bit of 8, a little bit of 9 is pretty good as well. And, mixed in there as well. And the other seasons are rinse and repeat, the same kind of thing. But, Constipated Sin City as PT, do you think that killing zombies could be done with black magic? I don't know. I don't know how that. I live in a world of practical stuff. So killing zombies with weapons and just stuff that makes sense is where I live in. And when I write my books, it's kind of a thing like that. There's not really a lot of magic and fantasy stuff. It's mostly like technology and weapons and just, realistic approach to it as well. Mike, I believe Blue Jay is the second episode of the season, and it's far better than the first episode. I kind of wish that was the opening episode. It was much better. It still had its like Fear the Walking Dead moments, which are laughable, but it's better. It was much better. It was like, so I don't even know how I would rank season 8 episode 1. Like if it's 0 out of 10, 0 being nothing, 10 being the best scale out there on the scale, I give the premiere a 4 maybe, because it was so annoying with Mo and Madison and this and there and back, and it was just so annoying more than anything. And Blue Jay I probably give a 7, maybe an 8. So it's like double there. It was so much better in my opinion too. Phantom Deluxe Q&A, do you think CRM has its own film industry or the TV used broadcast pre-2010 shows? I don't know. Like CRM is the military aspect. It would be the Civic Republic would have that. I don't think CRM has, film industry, but I don't know. Like, because I think they use like print propaganda stuff that way and not really so much video. And they, I don't know. I mean, they had the one thing for World Beyond where they were having about all the things they had, like agriculture and industry and petro and all the other things, and they saw the Civic Republic. And they never really went into that at all. We never really got more into that, even though I believe we should hopefully see some more of that in the Rick and Michonne show, which I believe is wrapped. So there's been mixed reports and mixed things that have come out all over the place about Summit, the Walking Dead Rick and Michonne show. So the Rick and Michonne show is Rick and Michonne finding each other, CRM. We should meet Major General Beale. We'll see Jadis again. We'll see, a couple people that are connected with Michonne from when she left. And but I don't think we're going to see any word yet about if we're going to see anybody from World Beyond, Walking Dead. We're still holding out hope that we could see Daryl in there because Norman Reedus was on set, probably just visiting, but I don't even care at this point, right? Like the timeline of things, who cares? I don't care. So what timeline is it when the end of The Walking Dead happened? What year is it? What month is it? What day is it? Rick and Michonne, what day is it? What year is it? Who cares, right? Daryl goes to France. Who cares? What year is it? I don't care. I don't even care about the timeline anymore. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. Some people are like, well, the timeline of Fear the Walking Dead has jumped from season 7 to season 8. 7 years puts it at 11B of The Walking Dead. Great. I don't even care anymore at that point. What I care about is Rick, Michonne, having reunions with everybody involved. If Daryl shows up, I don't even care if it makes sense. I just want to see Rick Grimes, Daryl Dixon, fighting CRM, being reunited, and Daryl needs to know that Rick is alive. Because Daryl and Michonne were the only people looking for Rick. The only people that gave a damn that Rick was there. So Michonne's going to find Rick, clearly, obviously, from the show, Rick and Michonne show. But what about Daryl? Like, and how does it work with Daryl going to France and these people and this and the timeline of things and, CRMs, Commonwealth, and all that stuff? I don't even care. I just want to see Daryl show up. And, yeah, I want to see Morgan be involved, and I want to see Judith, and Rick's got to meet RJ. We all want that, right? We all want to see Rick meet his son and see Judith and how much older she is and stronger, and she's an awesome, young lady. And it's just like, you want to see those things, but just like anybody would. It's like someone coming home from the military, and when they went away, the wife was pregnant, or they had a child. He comes back 4 years later, or whenever it is, whatever the leave would be, and he sees a 4-year-old, and you're like, oh my God, my daughter or son's 4 years old. Like, it's amazing. And the dad's alive and good to go. But it's the kind of a similar thing. And I think that's what I want to see. And I think everybody wants to see that too. But will they happen? Will it do that way? So the big thing is, will we see a second season of Summit? There's been a lot of mixed reports that it's going to be one season of 6 episodes. They were going to film in New Jersey, film in Georgia, but it was all New Jersey. There's been one season of 6 episodes. It's a limited series. And then you talk to people on the cast and whatever on there too, and the production people, and they're like, well, maybe second season, or for now. So does that mean that they're hinting that there's going to be a second season? I hope so, because 6 episodes is not nearly enough content for the stuff we want to see. If Daryl's getting 2 seasons, if Maggie and Negan are getting 2 seasons, Rick and Michonne, I hope, get 2 seasons, but it's up to them. Do they want to do that? Does Denai want to be Michonne any longer than she has to be? Does Andrew Lincoln want to be Rick? We'll have to see how it plays out. Phantom Deluxe Q&A, do you think if Rick got a time machine, he would try to find the origins of the virus and try to prevent it, or instead save Lori, Carl, and his deceased fellows? So what is this, Back to the Future zombie apocalypse style? I mean, I don't know. I'm not even going to think about Rick Grimes is going to go back like Marty McFly and try to stop the zombie apocalypse from happening. That's kind of just laughable and funny fantasy. It's just not what this world has kind of been about. But I don't know. That's kind of a good question. If you had a time machine and you were in the zombie apocalypse Walking Dead universe, what would you do with that time machine? Would you go forward in time? Would you go back in time? Because I would probably go back in time way before the zombie apocalypse even started, because the zombie apocalypse would be terrible. It's funny, it's fiction, it's great to think, and it's I know all these people on Facebook are hilarious. They're like, yeah, if it was a zombie apocalypse, I would get stuff done. I would do this, I would do that. Oh yeah? Do you have air conditioning? Do you have electricity? Do you have power? Do you have ability to go just get food? Can you go hunt? Can you fish? Can you cook? Can you clean? Can you protect yourself? Can you do all that still? It's so crazy. People would do all that. No, it would suck. If you've ever been in an area where you lost power for an extended period of time, 3 days, 4 days, a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, you have no electricity, so you have no internet, you have no power coming to your electronics, your computer, your refrigerator. You can take a cold shower. You can do things like that, but you can't do anything creature comforts. You got to go to the store, and hopefully they have generators and stuff that can do all that too. That's basically what it would be like, but you're never going to get power back on. Unless, there's things that were, put in place for that. But that's basically what it would be like. If I had a time machine, I would go back, 40 years before the zombie apocalypse started, or 30 years, and live my life that way, so I know it's coming and be ready for it and prepared. And then I die an old man before it even starts, is what I would do. Is what I would do personally. And plus, I would know how things play out and hopefully make millions and billions of dollars betting on sports, is what I would do. But that's what I would do with that stuff. A friend says, Fear the Walking Dead premiere sucked. Baby trafficking is a real issue to make it the topic of the show. It's just crappy. So, yeah, I think they're trying to do on Fear the Walking Dead. So Fear the Walking Dead. Well, first of all, what did you guys think of the premiere? We'll talk about the first and second episodes because they're both on AMC Plus, and I've seen both episodes, and I have my reviews of both. But I think the first episode, it's crazy to think, right? I think it's the showrunners wrote the first episode and maybe even the second. I think they wrote a bunch of these. I think they wrote a bunch of episodes this season, and I think they definitely wrote the first 2 episodes. The first episode was definitely written by people who I think they had a good idea on paper, and they with the time jump, they painted themselves in a corner, because with the 7-year time jump, it works for the kids, but it doesn't work for Morgan and Madison and any of the adults. It doesn't work, because what were they doing for 7 years? What did Padre see the value in the adults? Because what my understanding was in season 7, Padre wanted nothing to do with adults. They wanted everything to do with kids. They wanted to take the kids from their parents and separate them and brainwash them and basically, set them in motion and really do whatever they're going to do with these kids, if they're connected with the CRM or connected with some other group, or I don't know, building the future that is different because society fell apart, and is Padre being run by government officials or who? Like I don't know who this Padre person is, but it just came across as terrible because Mo was a bratty, annoying kid, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was kind of like she's going to the Hunger Games, and we never even got to meet this character because the last time we saw her, she was a child, a baby, an infant, a very young, child. It was not like, oh, we've grown up. Like if it was Judith or Carl or something, that's one thing. But Mo, it just didn't really hit the mark in my opinion. Do you agree, disagree, or let me know in the comments? It's always fun to talk about too. So, and Carol says, Fear the Walking Dead premiere sucked. The second sucked a little less. So hopefully they get better, right? So hopefully by like the 3rd episode, 4th episode, 5th episode, 6th episode, hopefully like they sucked less and less and less and less, right? So hopefully it gets less and less and less for it. So we'll have to see. But yeah, the Ren actor, Zoe Merchant, I think her name is. She's 12 years old, but she plays an 8-year-old. But I don't care. Like, she was annoying. It was annoying to watch. The story was annoying. I want to leave. I want to stay. I don't want this. Let me point the guns at this. Whatever, right? Like, young Carl was annoying. He didn't listen. He stayed in the house for like 2 seconds and then did his own stuff. Got Dale killed and did all this other stuff, right? Judith, to me, worked. Kaylee Fleming is a young actress. She was 12 years old or less when she's been on the show. And she was great. I've liked Judith the entire time. So it's not a kid aspect. It's an annoying kid aspect. It wasn't that, oh, kids are annoying. It's annoying kids are annoying, right? Like, not every kid is annoying and not every kid is great. They're all in between, upside down, all around. But it was just the way it was back and forth, and then they did this, and it was just so crazy. And enough people agree with my sentiments for there too. So it's just something that it's just coming across for a lot of people, not just me, but there's also people that they'll defend Fear the Walking Dead like it's their own child, like they created it, like they can never see any fault in it. Right? It's like that bad kid that's in 5th grade who's biting kids or fighting kids and causing problems. And then the parents come in and they're like, not my child. My child would never do that. No, your kid's terrible. Like, what are you talking about? No. That's not how it goes. Right? When I was in 5th grade or elementary school, middle school, whatever, if I got in trouble or the slightness in trouble, if I did anything remotely kind of this, and I got there and my parents had to come in or this and that, or if I was helping a friend or something and my dad thought I got in trouble, he's like, what'd you do? What'd you do? Not taking my side of anything, and then he found out what I was there for, and it was for something that was fine or blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, okay. But nowadays, parents are like, I'm sticking up for my child no matter what. Probably because their parents did not stick up for them, so they're going to flip the script and be the opposite way around it. So it's just like what it is. But yeah, Fear the Walking Dead to the premiere, dropped the ball. And I think there's going to be more misses than hits this season, even though it got better. The second episode got better, and I hope every episode gets a little less cringy or terrible or whatever. But the first episode Morgan was like, I don't even know how to say it without cursing and coming, whatever. But he was a wuss. He was like, Padre can do stuff that we can't do. Now, I understand that Morgan probably wants to save Mo and not have a repeat of Dwayne and Jenny because that's traumatic. He doesn't want to lose another child. He lost, kids, he just didn't lose Dwayne. He's lost other people in the apocalypse. So I get that. But the way it comes across is that he gave up on Mo and Padre can do things better than he can. And it just looks like I don't know. It just didn't come across very well. Tim Q&A, what do you think was the reason they kept Madison locked up giving all this oxygen for 7 years? I don't know. It makes no sense. Like, you're wasting all this oxygen. Like, oxygen is in the air and everything is great too, but you have to have it condensed in, tubes and vessels, and, you have to keep it where it's, it's a resource. You don't have an unlimited supply of medical grade oxygen for, COPD and emphysema. And they keep her locked up like she is the cure or something that they're trying to keep her alive. And what are they taking the blood for? That was never explained. We saw it happen with Shrike Beaker. I want to call her name Beaker. The girl I'm talking about, Shrike, with the weird haircut or whatever. And it's like, what? And she is just like a laughable character. But why was she taking Madison's blood every week? They've had multiple times to answer it, and they still haven't answered it. Why are they taking her blood? Are they looking for a cure? Are they looking for COPD treatment? Are they looking for something to help her? To hurt her? To help the research? Like, what's the point? Because you could be taking blood for a variety of reasons. But it's just something that I don't care about the negative all the time. So this person wrote, I see what you're saying. I don't think it's perfect either, but I just think that some people don't like negative. That's great. I'm not negative all the time. If you think it's negative all the time, it's ridiculous. But Fear the Walking Dead is a joke. The show is ridiculous. The show is all over the place. So the first 3 seasons, you had a showrunner, and then you had this, and you had that, and then you bring Morgan, and then you kill Madison off, but you don't. You bring her back, and it's all over the place. Decide what you're going to be with it, and then that's it. The rumor was that they had season 6 had ghost writers, and I believe they have, and I believe it was because it was great. Season 6 was an outlier. It is the best season of the Fear the Walking Dead. But then when you have the showrunners writing episodes like 1 and 2, you get to see it. You can see when they write stuff. It's like you can see the writing, who writes it, and they get it wrong versus when they do. It's just laughable. So, I don't know. Let me see. Constipated in Sin City. Sorry, let me go back up. La Pub right there. Nope, I already got that question. Sorry, I jump on there too. Your last comment. Can you type it again? Constipated in Sin City. I don't see it. I missed it. I saw it before, and I don't see anything new from there. So maybe it didn't send or something on there. But either way, it's going away. We have 10 more episodes, episodes 3 through 12, and it's going to be done. And I'm excited for them to go back to King County, but everything else is going to be ridiculous. This Padre stuff is ridiculous, unless it's only saving grace to me is that they connect Padre with CRM or the Civic Republic or some sort of that. I think they need to, because what else can it be? I don't know. I don't know what else. So this Padre Island here place, and they're all about, raising kids and teaching kids and doing that. I don't know. It's like, and then you watch the behind the scenes stuff with the showrunners, and they said that that they were trying to portray this Padre place as like the Romans or the Spartans or something like that. I think it was the Spartans, that they would take the children young and then train them and teach them. And I'm like, okay, I see what you're kind of doing there. But what are they doing it for? Like, are they going to go against the CRM? Are they going to go against somebody else? Or are they just trying to survive? Are they trying to have their own group of people that do similar things? You want to have, I would assume that it's like a cult leader. They brainwash the people and their followers, and then they turn them into people that just do whatever they want them to do. And I think that's kind of what Padre is with kids. They want to portray them as being, open-minded, and the kids are buying into what they're saying. Their parents left them. They gave them up, even though Padre took them from the kids. So Padre is telling the kids, we're guessing, that their parents gave them up and abandoned them. And when reality is that Padre is taking them from their parents, and their parents aren't allowed to be involved with it. So they're brainwashing them to hate their parents. So if they ever see them again, we'll see that. So we know that Padre is a lie, and Padre's a terrible place, and it's going to be this. And you have to end it one way or another. Padre is going to be a thing that's going to be the last villainous group, I'm guessing, in the Fear the Walking Dead franchise. But I don't know what they're going to do for 12 more episodes. It just seems crazy to think that, or 12, not 12 more, but 12 episodes total, because the first episode is the time jump. Everybody has jobs with Padre, evidently. Like, Morgan was a collector, Madison was a collector, but then they just locked her up and did nothing with her. Grace is a collector. Mo is a child there too. June was working for them, but she's doing her own thing. Dwight is teaching the kids how to fight and defend themselves. Sherry works in the nursery or something. Victor, we don't know where he is. He's probably part of the group that's going against Padre. Daniel is probably part of the group, the Resistance, going against Padre. Don't know what happened to Charlie. Haven't seen Sarah or Wendell. Haven't seen Luciana. Haven't seen a lot of characters. And we've seen a lot of characters in the Walking Dead universe. Now, we don't know what happened with the kids from the prior season. What was that, season 5? Don't know what happened with them. They were just come and go. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with the rest of the characters that are around. But I hope that we get some good story. I was talking to, it might have been someone, I don't know if they're in here or not, but Daniel. Let's talk about Daniel for a little bit, right? So, sorry, I see a question from Carol about Daniel. Q&A, Brian, did you get hints from episode 3 that they might have made Daniel high up in the ranks at Padre? I sincerely hope not. I personally got the idea that Daniel is part of the Resistance that's going against Padre. Because, again, the way I interpreted it, I could have misinterpreted it. But I think that the Padre wanted nothing to do with adults. They wanted to just have kids. So why did Morgan get a job, Grace get a job, Dwight get a job, June got a job, Sherry got a job, and Sherry was the mother of a child that they took. They gave birth and then they took the child, and Sherry and Dwight are okay with that. They're perfectly fine with it. Like, that would be weird to me, that if my, wife or girlfriend or whatever Sherry and Dwight are, or whatever they are, if we had a child and then somebody took the child away, I really wouldn't be okay with that. But they're good with it. They're like, Padre's helping kids, and they're actually really helpful. And I guess they are, right? They're not like beating them or doing anything wrong. They have to work and do jobs and do tasks and train and learn how to defend themselves. They're not like punishing them and doing anything terrible, which I don't think who would want to see that, but I don't know. Andrea, do you think Padre found or will find Alicia? Do you think she'll return? I don't think she'll return. But I hope she'll return. I hope we see Althea again. I hope we see Alicia. I hope we see the characters that make sense. But I don't think so. But from Daniel's aspect, so exactly. So they painted this like Daniel was one of my favorite. He was my favorite character early on in the series. He had his family. He was a badass. He was a former cartel member or something, like connected with stuff. And then he got shot in the face by Strand, and it was terrible. And here and there. And it was like he was doing a lot of things, and then he got dementia. He got, just not good. and he was, I don't know if it was Alzheimer's or just regular, because Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. And he couldn't put two and two together, and he wasn't sure, and this. And now all of a sudden, he's in the woods or the swamp or the marsh or whatever we're calling it with some people with him. So I don't know what they're doing with Daniel. I like Daniel a lot, but they're kind of just all over the place with this character, and they kind of painted him in a corner to be like, well, you don't get better with dementia, and especially not going to get better in the zombie apocalypse with dementia if you don't have medication or something to combat that and help that. But hopefully they're just not going to glance over that, like, yeah, we kind of forgot that, this and that too. So. But what do you think about Daniel? What do you think is going to happen with Daniel, too? So I like the actor, Ruben Blades or whatever. But I think, I don't know. It's again, Fear the Walking Dead has been good idea, but bad in practice. Like, it's just not good. It's just not a good actual story of it. But I think I like the idea of trying to be there. It's just frustrating. It's just really frustrating. For me and a lot of people too. So let me see. Where are you at there? Phantom Deluxe, where are you at? Let me see. Let me find your question here. Sorry, I'm not seeing some of those. Phantom Deluxe says, PT, a little story. My neighbor is a political person, and due to the worsening political crisis in the country, he was arrested yesterday. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds terrible. I don't want to hear that, people are having a tough time, or whether they're a political official or whatever. Hopefully he's doing all right. And, I don't know what to say about that too. So the first episode was pretty bad. So Summit is wrapped filming. Summit is done. And hopefully we're going to get a second season, but that remains to be seen, remains to be heard about that. The Daryl Dixon show, there's been a little kind of behind-the-scenes stuff played on AMC on Twitter. It says The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. It doesn't see... let me see. So, Constipated... I just see your latest one, Constipated Sin City. It says Daniel was a Contra guerrilla. So, yeah, I don't see a question, though. I just see that as your statement on there. And then I see, please read my last comment. And I don't see any more comments on there, Constipated, unless I'm missing it. But I see your red circle here, so it's not, I get to see it there too. Michael Singer, basketball question. Who do you think will win? Maybe find something. I like the Nuggets. I want to see the Nuggets and the Heat play. And I want to see, I like Jimmy Butler. So if the Heat win, I'm happy for Jimmy Butler. That's as good. And if the Nuggets win, I'm happy for Jokic. I think he's the best player in the NBA. As for the golf, my favorite player is Collin Morikawa right now, but I like Victor Hovland, so I hope he'll win, but it'll probably be somebody else. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't see your comment. It's just not here. Constipated in Sin City. Mr. Iconic, Q&A, what's your favorite season of The Walking Dead main show? Of course, because mine is season... You like season 7 is your favorite season? That's crazy, Mr. Iconic. That's my least favorite season. Season 6 is my favorite season of the main show. Dragon Ball Radiant Q&A, do you think June can do anything to help Dwight and Sherry's son, or is he totally screwed? Or is this something we will double back in Summit? So, man, I don't see it there. I'm sorry, Constantine. I don't see your question at all. I'm saying it there. So let's talk about the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead. But before let me talk about From for a second. So if you haven't watched From, you can watch the first season on Amazon Prime. The second season is an MGM Plus show. From is great. I enjoy it heavily. I just hope we get answers. There hasn't been much answers yet. They've been hinting at things and stuff with Tabitha in this past episode, and Jade cracks me up, but we need answers. And the rumor is, and the potential spoilers, that we're going to get major answers in the 6th episode, which is next week. So I'm hoping they're true for From. And if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's a great series so far, and I'm excited to get answers. It's something exciting for me too. So let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead season 2 or season 8, episode 2. So it's Blue Jay. It focuses on June. And I like the character June. I think Jenna Elfman does a good job on the show. I think Fear the Walking Dead could also have been better if we had more focus on characters like June. Like, it just seems like it's a hodgepodge of things. Like, there's too much going on. Like, you got Morgan and Grace, you got June, you got Dwight and Sherry, you got Daniel, you got Luciana, you got Sarah and Wendell, you got Strand. It's just so many paths that you're taking. And the Walking Dead universe loves to do that. They're all separate. Then they come together. They separate. They come together. They separate. They come together. Separate. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And it's over. And then it's over. But it's just crazy to think about it too. Let me see. I saw a couple questions here let me get back to that. Let me see. Carol Q&A. Did you scream at the screen when June didn't break the glass to get away from the walkers? Also, wouldn't the walkers rot off the chains like on Negan's fence? So I've always had a question about the walkers, right? Like, so, people and people get my question where because I would assume that the zombie apocalypse is going to spread like a fungus, like a virus, like a thing. It's going to happen very rapidly. And if there's 8 billion people on the planet, you're going to lose probably a couple billion people right away. And then over the course of days, weeks, months, years, you're going to lose more and more and more and more and more and more. So I don't know how many people would be left to turn into walkers. So just say there was a million people left on the planet, and they'd be spread out throughout the entire planet. How come there are so many walkers left alive? Because in 10, 12, let's say 10 years, just to keep it math, right? How is a walker still alive 10 years after turning? Their musculoskeletal system would break down. Their blood supply would make everything necrotic. You would have no bones. You would have nothing left around to walk on because they would be so brittle. And you would have a bunch of crawlers. They wouldn't be walking around. They'd be crawling around. So, but yeah, it was annoying when June goes into the train car and she's got to go save Dwight and Sherry, which I'm glad she did. But there's these walkers just chained up. And she's looking at them. And she was clearly involved with the research and the radiation therapy and stuff doing there, working with them too. Which, she's a nurse. Like, I don't even know what type of nurse she was before. But she wasn't a scientist or a lab technician or something there too. She was a nurse. So she can't do everything. But I guess she was more medically, knowledgeable than other people. But the fact is, she was walking past these walkers. She comes to a door that's locked. She can't get through the door. The walkers break off the chains and the supports that are there, and the walkers come after her. You want to kill the walkers every time you see them. Like, what are you doing, right? So you go, and then there's one that has an arm free, and she still doesn't kill it. So every time you're going to be leaving your house, homestead, sanctuary, safe spot, I would assume you want to have a long-range weapon, a short-range weapon, a sidearm, a pistol, a knife, a sword, another knife. You want to have multiple things, right? So I would have a knife to kill these walkers as I'm walking by them. June should know better than this. She's smarter than that. It's like you're making these characters stupid for no reason. And then she had to be saved by Adrian. It was whole thing. And it was just annoying too. So, but yeah, so evidently I think it's a lot more work what she's doing. Cutting off the trigger fingers of the collectors. And she cut off the trigger finger of Shriek, which was her left hand, by the way, so I guess she's a lefty. Or the actress didn't want to lose her right hand and wear this weird thing on her right finger, her index finger. Because they have a thing over top of it, and then probably when they take it off, they have the green screen on her finger, unless the actress has actually lost that finger. But I don't think so. But you never know. It was just like, why wouldn't you just kill the collectors instead of like, so she tranquilizes the collectors that are in a raft like so far away, and then how does she get that? Does she swim over to the raft and then pull the raft over and then come over here and then make sure they didn't die, then tranquilize them and also put some sedative in their finger and do this and put a thing on there and then cut the finger off and then cauterize it and then push the raft out? That's a lot more work than just executing them. Now, yeah, it's different. You don't want to kill someone versus taking their trigger finger, but you are attacking them and maiming them and making them feel what it is. And then also, if you don't like what's done here and you don't want to be a part of this anymore on this as well, put up your signs and do what you got to do to, expose Padre and then leave. Then leave the area, like it's crazy to think that Morgan and Grace couldn't just leave the area with Mo. And they're obviously going to do that because they go back to King County. And I think that's when the season is going to start. I think it would have been much better for the group just to leave and go to King County and do all that stuff there too. And then they go to certain spots where they go back to the prison and it would have been really cool to see those things. And hopefully we still do. But to me, the season's really going to start when Morgan, Mo, and Grace go back to King County and the house that Morgan was at before with Dwayne and Jenny. So Wilson says, been easier to kill them, Bri, and sink their boat. Exactly. It just would have been easier to do that. It just seemed like a lot of work. It just seems like it's one of those writing things to be like, you know what we're going to do? June's going to want to get back at the collectors and do all this stuff. So what she's going to do is she's going to have a tranquilizer gun, have darts, have all these things, camp out, be ready to go. And if they've been doing this for years, wouldn't people be along the route that these people have been going back? Yeah. Yeah, constipated city. I'm not getting what it is, so I don't know what's going on here. I'm not getting your question because I see a bunch of questions like, Tim, Q&A, yes. So why was June keeping the fingers? I don't know, right? Why was she keeping the fingers? So she cut off the fingers and put them in a bowl like trophies, like the zombie heads from the governor. And in both episodes, they kind of took things from The Walking Dead and they're like, don't copy my homework exactly, mix it up a little bit. Change it up a little bit. It's the same but different. That's what Fear the Walking Dead felt like to me so far in the first 2 episodes. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, on a scale from 1 to 10, how good was the Dead City second trailer? It was pretty good. I'd probably give it probably an 8. It was good. It was definitely up there. It had my interest. It made me want to watch this show. I'm going to watch it anyway, just like Fear the Walking Dead. It's laughable. I talk about it. I share what I share, and I do what I do, and I think about my views. But I support it. I talk about it. Again, like if I didn't care about it, I wouldn't there too. So, yeah. No, I'm not. Gossipy says it's a long comment. I think you're doing. I'm not. I'm really not seeing it at all. So I see your comment there. I see your one you said. I resent it. I'm not like being difficult. And then I see he says after Wilson comments 7 years. And I see your other one. Daniel was a Contra gorilla. Please read my last comment. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just not seeing it. You asked me about black magic, killing zombies. You asked how's the family doing this weekend? Pretty good. But that's just what I see constantly. I'm not trying to be difficult on there as well. But yeah, I don't see anything in there. I'm not. I'm just not. I don't know why it's not coming up. Yeah, so I got that. We watched Titans, that show on HBO Max, which was a huge cluster of a show that was 4 seasons and all over the place, and it ended the way it ended, and not really exciting. The Goldbergs, I watched that. That was another one that just ended. And it's a shame because I love the Goldbergs, and it's crazy that was on 10 seasons, I think, or 10 years or something, 10 seasons. And it's just a long time of that show, and it just ended abruptly. Like, there was no resolution to Barry, Adam, and the Goldbergs just kind of ended. Kind of sucked. Fan of Deluxe asks, have you watched Dune? I watched the first movie, which is kind of crazy, and I watched the remake, and I kind of want to see what happens with the second movie coming up. But Dead City, I'm excited for it. So I talk about it in a couple of videos. So have you guys seen the Dead City trailer? Are you excited for it? Are you excited for Dead City? Because I hope Fear the Walking Dead gets better and better and better. Like, I'm not rooting for it to suck. But when it's good, I say it's good. And when it sucks, it sucks. Like, people only think about, they only hear the negative stuff of it. Like, oh, you're so negative. I could say 15 good things and I say 2 negative things. And people are like, you're so negative with it. I'm just being honest with it. That's all it is, you know. But Dead City, I'm excited for it. I hope it's answered. We're getting more clarification of why Maggie and Negan are working together, which is good because I want to know more. It needs to be explained very well why Maggie was by herself. Now, yeah, if this Croatia guy or Croat or Croate or whatever his name is, the Croat, he wants Negan for stuff that's been done before in the past, and then Armstrong wants Negan. So we have 2 guys wanting Negan. Maggie is going to use Negan to get her son back. How does the Croat know that Herschel and Maggie are connected with Negan? Was he watching them? Spying on them? Does he have a history of them? Like, why is there no other characters around with Maggie? Like, Maggie, it's said that Maggie was attacked by people, and they took Herschel. So I'm guessing that Maggie lost some people on a run or a trip or a thing or whatever. And I don't think they came to Hilltop and they attacked them, but it's not explained. And they're probably like, only bring Negan and nobody else. If you bring anybody else, I'm going to understand. So that's what I think it is, which is going to suck and be stupid. Because you can clearly tell Elijah and Jerry and Ezekiel and the Commonwealth people, don't come with me because I have to get Negan to do this. But come to the city, New York City, because I need your help. But we can't come together because if we show up that way, blah, 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 here. But ultimately, it's Maggie and Negan, and they have to work together to get Herschel back. And that's what it comes down to. And we have to accept that. But I just don't think Maggie would ever be alone by herself. Michael Singer, will they ever show how Madison escaped the stadium? I want an explanation on stuff. The showrunners have said that they will explore that and they will explain that. So it's probably going to be either glanced over and not enough explanation, or it's going to be over-explained where it kind of helps the story but doesn't. Because Madison is going to have to... We kind of want to know what happened there, even though it doesn't make sense because she was surrounded by walkers with a flare. She didn't have an assault rifle and machine gun to mow these walkers down. She didn't have a way out. She trapped herself in to let her family escape. She was going down in a heroic fashion, and that was it. And that's how it was going there. But it didn't happen. And so, ultimately, it was annoying because they killed her off. They don't know what they're doing with the show, so they brought her back. Which shows to me and a lot of people, they don't know what they're doing. Jonathan Wilder, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you like the New World Championship Raw has? I've only seen like glimpses of the picture on there too, so I don't know. It looks kind of crappy. It looks like an older belt. It looks like an old school belt, so if that's what they're going for, I could see what it is, but it just looks, I don't know, kind of off. Probably give it like a 6, I guess. I like, what do you give it on there, John? But I think, Mike, they'll explain. The showrunners did say that they're going to explore how Madison escaped. But I agree. We need to have some answers. They need to do a lot in the final episodes here too. So we have to see who this Padre guy is. That I think we're going to do there too. So let's also talk about we got to talk about the big news about radiation, walker bites, and on there too. So June evidently was working for Padre, doing research with radiation therapy. Some people were trying to, it's basically chemotherapy. Chemotherapy and radiation are different, but they do treat, cancers and stuff like that too. They're different things though. So ultimately what was happening is that they were working with radiation to try to, I guess, cure zombie bites, zombie things there too. But what was happening, it sounds like for me, is that I'm not getting it. I don't know if you're writing too much or what it is, but all I'm getting is I resent it again. It's a long comment. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. So I would not write as much in there or something, Constipated Sin City. But so June was doing research on there or practicing with radiation therapy, and because she had the idea. And I guess she was talking about Alicia, right? Because Alicia was bit. She cut off her arm and had the weird Terminator arm, but she was exposed to radiation, to radioactive leaking from Texas, and she survived. So then June came up with the idea that maybe there's something to that. So she was using that here. I don't know how you could just get radiation therapy and stuff like that so easily, but I guess Padre had resources and they had their connections on there too. So it's definitely something that she was doing that for. But it doesn't make sense because you can't just have that. It's not like, we put it in a syringe and done, you're healed. Unless they do that. I don't know, right? So there's nothing there. So I see Phantoms, Abyssal 85, Michael Singer, and Carols. There's nothing there, Constipated Sin City. I'm not seeing it. I don't know why I'm not seeing your comments for that. So, exactly. Radiation was Grace's expertise. That's perfect, Tim. So she should have been brought in to help out, but that's not how it went. So she was doing radiation therapy, and she had to do this on there as well. So I'm liking the idea of, I just don't see it, Constipated Sin City. I'm just going to give up on seeing it because I don't see it. If it pops up, I'll talk about it, but I don't see it at all. So it's just kind of cool that they talk about radiation, possible cure. So then they're like, okay, what's going to happen from this? June doesn't want to work from them and this and that, so it doesn't make sense. So, but they have Finch, who is Dwight and Sherry's son, gets bit by the head. That was hilarious. So they put the zombie head in a little device thing and they move it towards the victim or the person on the mat. And the Finch got bit like on the shoulder, like upper trap area is what I'm guessing. Which it looked terrible how it was biting him, but it wasn't biting him. But either way. But he got bit there. So it wasn't like a small little bite. It was a bite there. Because you can't, if it was on the arm, you could just chop the arm off. But it's up here, so you can't just get to the area. I'm guessing why they did it there too. So June has to work on the radiation therapy to save Finch. So it's something that I think something has to happen from it. But I'm not building my hopes up that June's going to find the cure because I don't know. Like, I don't think the writers on Fear the Walking Dead know how to end the show. So again, there's only so many ways to watch the show, or to end the show, or end the series or end the zombie apocalypse story, because it's like everybody lives, everybody dies, they're survivors. They get to an island, the military shows up, people are cured, and there's only so many ways, right? So Padre is an island, military. I don't know. Is that kind of what Padre is? Cure? Okay. You're kind of hitting all the bases here. But the title of episode 806 is All I See Is Red. That's got to be Morgan, right? So Morgan's going to grow a pair, become Clear Morgan, Cray Morgie. He's going to take out the Padre and fight them and go crazy. And I guess eventually leave the area with Mo and Grace and go back to King County. I don't even know where Padre is. Is it It's an island, but is it in the Gulf of Mexico? Is it in the Atlantic Ocean? Is it where is Padre? I mean, I don't know. So it's always things that are left open-ended because they can't explain them. It's just, I don't know. It's just something that we're going to get what we're going to get. It's going the way it's going, and it's going to be done too. So, like I said, I think we all can agree that 801 was bad. 802 was much better. And hopefully 803 is much better. And 804 is better. And 5 is better. 806 is and it ends good. Then we have a break. And then we get 807 through 8012. And wherever they're going to go from there. Right? But Strand's got to show up. Luciana's going to show up. Sarah, Wendell. Are we going to see Charlie? Because I'm guessing Charlie's dead. Right? She had radiation sickness. And 7 years, I don't think she was going to survive. But it needs to be explained. You know? But, Yeah. Thank you, Hard Nixie says, just popping in to give a hi and a thumbs up, and I will listen after I watch the show tonight. Thank you, Hard Nixie. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away for that. Wilson Q&A. Good thing about Rick's show ending filming means July San Diego Comic-Con trailer is certain. Is there anyone you'd like to see on the panel other than Andy and Denai? So, well, yeah, that's a good question. Are we going to have, like, what's the panels going to be like for July? Like, it's May 21st as we have this live stream. Comic-Con, I don't know when Comic-Con is this year, but it's usually like middle of July. So it's probably like 2 months out. Are we going to have like a Walking Dead panel where we have Andy Lincoln and Denai, Lauren Cohan, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and we have like people, because we're not going to have a Fear of the Walking Dead panel. That's done. Are we going to have Norman Reedus? Are we going to have just a bunch of people there doing the Walking Dead universe panel? Because do we have enough to talk about it? Yeah, I'm just not. Constipated Sin City. This is kind of like weird and funny at the same time. I'm not seeing anything. So I don't know if we're going to have enough for Walking Dead universe panels. Are we going to have a panel for Dead City, a Daryl Dixon panel, and a Summit panel? I don't know, but I would assume that we will have Denai Guerrera, Andy Lincoln, Pollyanna McIntosh, and I don't know. Like, I mean, are we gonna have Major General Beale on there? Are we gonna have people that are, because we know potentially who these people are, but that hasn't come out through AMC and their productions, their trailers, their photos. We know that from potential information of who these characters are. So it'll be a pretty big deal if they bring that around, San Diego Comic-Con, which I'm hoping we get. I hope we get the trailer. Hopefully we get a bunch of trailers. Hopefully we get the Rick and Michonne trailer. Hopefully we get the Daryl Dixon trailer, and hopefully we get the Fear the Walking Dead 8B trailer, because that would be pretty cool. Jonathan Wilder Q&A, who do you think is winning the new belt? Night of Champions, AJ Styles or Seth freaking Rollins? Can you sing Seth's songs? Seth's song? I don't know, because I know Seth is going to be in the new Marvel movie coming out, Thunderbolts, I believe. So I like AJ Styles actually better than... I think AJ Styles is a better wrestler than Seth Rollins. But I don't know what they want to do. If you are... I'm not... Again, I don't have jokes. But I do have jokes, but I don't see your comment to talk about it. Terry O'Quinn might be there. I hope so, because he's supposed to be the Major General Beale, Terry O'Quinn, on there too. So, yeah. So Dwight is Red Kite. Morgan was Nightingale. June was Blue Jay. Mo is Wren. Grace is Heron. All these names are bird names. Madison is Lark. Like, what? It's just like crazy that like, what are we doing? Why are children called eggs? And why are they bird names? Like, I don't know. And why are they called carrion? Because of the flesh of dying animals or dead animals or something. It's just like every name possible. Like every show has empties and walkers and, carrion. And it's just like lame brains and all. Like everything's a walker, but it's not a walker, too. Like they can't call them zombies. They call them walkers. They call them this. They call them that, too. So, but there you go, guys. That's my hour. That was pretty quick, and I'm glad I'm back this Sunday for our live stream. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about The Walking Dead universe, Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 3. Enjoy tonight's episode. If you haven't seen Fear the Walking Dead, it's much better than the first episode, so if you like that. Some people are hating it. They're going to give up on it, but hopefully the second episode brings people back around for there too. Jonathan Wilder, last question. How many times have you rewatched The Walking Dead? I haven't watched it in a while, but before I used to watch it all the time, so probably a handful of times rewatching The Walking Dead. And it's just kind of like when you're in the middle of the seasons, you kind of want to kind of figure it out. But now that it's over, we kind of know how it ends, so I don't know if I'm going to watch it ever again. But I'll watch certain episodes, that's for sure. And I have watched certain moments. Like I'll watch certain episodes of The Sopranos or certain episodes of The Walking Dead, especially Season 6, Episode 9 of Walking Dead, which is the best episode of the series, in my opinion. But there you go, guys. I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy tonight's episode of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 2. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. I'll be back next Sunday. See you guys. See ya.